Hello guys, Vengeancer here. This is going to be a shorter video. I have to
I have a container. You do
talk
have
about some
this
stuff while I kind of clear my
storage
inventory
in
out.
your house.
So the reason I put a poll up on my channel before is I was trying to get a gauge, and get a feel for how all of you that watch feel about the content that's been going up. I did take a little bit of a break. I mean, not much of one, but enough of one that I was curious about it. And I've seen it with other content creators too, where Black Desert is concerned. This game is very repetitive when content happens, right? So I've reached a point, and we're going to talk about gear in a second, but let me put all of it on so I can kind of talk about it. But when you reach a certain point in Black Desert, it's very hard to make content. Gula's winter gift. I really don't care about that stuff. It's very hard to make content whenever you get to a certain point because it's repetitive. I mean, the amount of grinding that I have to do now compared to before, it's going to be to a point where I would literally release hours of grinding footage every day, and no one wants to sit there and watch that, right? I mean, I can ramble on for hours and hours and just be basically a second monitor background noise type of content, but it's just not content that I'm really proud of.
Within your allowed space, of course.
So there comes a time when you have to choose, and for the channel, I'm to that point because I do have a gear update. I did go ahead and spin the silver, and I got the Vel's Heart. I managed to win the bid on it. There were like 30-something pre-orders. Mine was one of them. And there's still 30-something, but somehow I won it. 16.5 billion, that's a huge amount of silver for 3 AP, but when you reach the point where I'm at, minus this butterfly dream buff that is the WUSA celebratory release thing. So minus 1 AP, so I'm at 281, and then DP 349, or you know, give or take whatever, because the Happy Black Spirit is pretty much permanent. I don't think they're ever going to take that away. So I'm at 281, 349. You know, that's high gear score in terms of it's not super in game, but it's to the point where each upgrade is now taking a lot of time. I mean, it's 630 gear score, right? So, and from now until the 700 gear score range, I mean, I can go grind Caphras and silver and dump Caphras into my gear. My DP is going to keep going up until it hits 400 plus. As I do that, right now all of my gear is sitting at Caphras level 4 in terms of armor. Crystals can always be reworked. I'm still just using cheap crystals because I don't grind in a spot where it really matters, and I'm not doing PvP at this moment. But dumping Caphras into my dim tree is going to be the next thing until it hits 10, so I can switch over to Fallen God. I mean, that's long term, right? Caphras are still going to be a thing. We collect Caphras all the time. We have tons of ways of doing that. I think I've gotten them all out of here. The game just throws Caphras at you when you're at higher end spots.
Money comes and goes.
Let's see how many I have sitting in storage right now. I have 296 sitting there. Plus I have 2286 spirit dust, so you divide that by 5, that's like another like 400 and something. Like 450, give or take, roughly. So you got to think that I'm getting close to the 800 Caphras mark. And I know that the next level for Timtree it's a little over that, I think. So I'm starting to get where I can add more Caphras in, and that is my long-term goal. So there's that. And I've spent the silver to get the Vel's Heart, so I've pretty much reached the easy AP gains. The other thing that I could do is buy accessories, but it's starting to get to where those are very expensive. I'm going to need at least pen, because all of this stuff is either Tet or pen equivalent. In the case of this pen crescent ring. So all the accessories are yellow Tet or higher equivalents, so the only thing I can do to move up from there is get pen accessories. So that doesn't really leave me much in terms of progression for AP, other than enhancing my 3 weapons from the 3 Black Star weapons from Tet to pen. So I'm to a point where progression is at a snail's pace. You have to grind for hours and hours. It's going to slow down. I don't want to become a channel where I upload a grind video every day. I was checking Cronstone, so I opened up storage. So I have 8,761 crons. That might be enough to get me to try Fallen God, or try God or Aid on the staff. It depends on how lucky I am. Going from base to pry isn't going to take any, and going from pry to duo is not going to take any, but it depends on how lucky I am with the duo to try. I have all of the stacks that I need for that. There's a 226, which that's going to be my pen stack. I have a 96, I have a 131. I have a 150, a 120, a 110, a couple of 100s, the 80, and then the 280s, and then I have a 122 sitting on the other character over here. So I have plenty of stacks to hit try or Tet, God or Aid. It's just I have to start dumping the silver into it. So I have to grind the silver, and I'm going to be grinding the potion piece, and I've said this in previous videos, but I'm going to be grinding this potion piece until I get it. I'm tired of Blood Wolves, so I'm just going to, that's where I'm grinding until it's done. And they're not the best on silver. As Suck Wizard, and I'm not a hardcore grinder, so I'm not doing the most APMs or anything like that. I'm just chilled, set back. I'll do what I do, one shot a pack of mobs, teleport to the next, and kind of run. And so I'm not grinding as efficiently as you probably could, but I'm getting like 13, 14,000 in that range every hour, running some of these scrolls with the gold, the level 2, the item drop plus 100%, and item drop amount plus 100%, because I have so many of these scrolls. And then I have a bunch of these that I've got to use up in the next 20 days or so. And then these don't expire. Plus I've got more in here. I don't know. I got so much mail, it's hard to... Yeah, there's a J scroll times 5. I got so much crap in here, I need to go through this. And I got a bunch of blessings and stuff that does make drop rate, and it's just... I just got a ton of crap around. And then I think there's some more here too. Somewhere. I'll have to look for that. But I know there's more. There's probably boxes or something in here, more scrolls. So I've just got a ton of stuff that I gotta eat through. But that being said, I don't want to just release, oh, here's a 20-30 minute video of me grinding Blood Wolves. I mean, that's what the content is going to be for the next foreseeable months if I release videos every day or every other day, because that's what I'm doing in game. So I'm going to take a different approach. I have a plan for or a video that I want to do one-off videos. Basically, I'm going to take heavily edited content and make a Succession Wizard in 5 minutes or less guide. Basically, oh, here's a Succession Wizard. Here is the weapons they use. Here's the skills they use, and just kind of go over it very quickly. Show off some of the skills. Show off my strategy and some skill combos. And 5 minutes or less. Just a quick 5-minute overview of a Succession Wizard. I let it slip past me what kind of value a video like that can bring, because not everyone plays Succession Wizard. I'm kind of biased because it's like, okay, I play Succession Wizard. It's simple. Why would anybody need to know that stuff? But I know a lot of people don't play it, so that might bring some value. And then editing some different stuff together, clips of me grinding, showing combos, and then voiceover, you know, that kind of thing. I want to do videos like that. And then I also, instead of just showing pure grinding, everyone knows that BDO is a very grindy game. That's what you do in the game. But maybe show different strategies that I'm using to, besides just AFK fishing, which when I'm not grinding or when I'm not doing farms or clearing my inventory, I leave my character right over here, Serenity 2, sitting right on this rock, AFK fishing. The reason I do that, and I did get some drops from Rift bosses and different stuff if you missed the last video. The reason I do that is because of the relic shards. And let me tell you, I had like 2,000, I sold them. I'm already back up to 900. I mean, I'm getting, every time I clear my inventory from being overnight or during the day, I'm getting 15, 20 relic shards. Now, I could go run those and do the memory fragments. However, I have 717 memory fragments, and I'm only enhancing my Goddard Aid staff. So it's more efficient for me to just sell the shards and use the silver buying other things that I need, and using all the memory fragments I get from Rift bosses or event boxes and that kind of crap. Because my time needs to be spent grinding that potion piece and just knocking that out and getting it out of the way. Because it is a big grind and it's a pain in the butt. And I would prefer to move on to grinding other spots. I have the 280, the 281 AP. I need to be grinding Elvia servers and making big silver instead of grinding a low-level Blood Wolf spot. I don't want to do it anymore. So I'm going to push past, get it done. And I spent yesterday, I grinded for an hour yesterday, which I know is not a very long time. But I only had a little bit of time to grind yesterday, and I didn't get any Blood Wolf Oath at all. Like, I got 0 drops that hour. So it's hit or miss, you know. Previous hour, I got 5 in an hour. And I know that I need to also be doing I need to go talk to this Rayo guy up here on the mountain. Wherever it's at, it's either here or up at the top here. And do the weekly and get 5 out of that, which will help a lot. So there are some things that we can do to make progress. Mostly now it's going to be luck enhancing or just grinding enough silver to buy pieces. For me, I'm pretty OCD about it. I want my stuff to have my family name on it. So I don't want to go and buy pens unless I absolutely have to on the accessories. I'm not so worried about the gear because I know eventually, in which I did enhance the boots and the shirt myself, and then the helmet. We switched it over for the piece that you get from doing the Magnus quest. The only other thing I could do on the gloves is sell these gloves off and go get a Tet pair and go and do the enhancement through the guaranteed enhancement, which I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to leave it without a family name. Eventually we'll get the Fallen God gloves and we'll switch that over. But that's where I'm headed, and that's why I put out the polls, and that's why I've made the videos the way that I have recently. I have not been happy with the content, and I don't want to just be like, well, I'm hunting rift bosses today, put it out, and well, I'm grinding today. Oh, I'm grinding tomorrow too. Here's another repeat video, basically. And the only thing that's different is going to be, oh, maybe I got a drop, but it's going to be the same rotation in the same spot for the same amount of time. And that is repetitive content. It's not fun to watch, and you can only drone on and view that so long before you just get bored out of your mind. And that's the problem with making videos on MMORPGs, unless you're re-rolling new characters every little bit, or you're trying a new game every little bit, you know. But making strictly Black Desert content, unless you are just going into the guide making business, shooting a bunch of footage and putting out a guide every other month, so it takes a long time for high production, high value things. You know, the quality is going to be way up, but the quantity is not. Look at that graphical glitch over there. Why is that vibrating so much? I guess it doesn't like all of those characters behind it, like the name, the text characters. Very strange. So you either get high quality, or you get quantity with lower quality, and that's a messy sentence in and of itself, but it's good to do update videos every other week or every week, and in between sprinkle in some one-off videos just on my strategies on how I do things. And I'm very adamant about my consistent silver income, which is overnight fishing for relic shards and the fish that have been doubled, so it kind of trickle feeds silver in. With the guild bonuses, the daily family silver that you can get, and the trickle feeding from the fishing over there, you get a fair amount of silver. I mean, it's not going to make you rich by any means, but between that and the relic shards, it's a decent amount coming in, so you never really run out of silver, even though you can have huge amounts come in and huge amounts go out, depending on what you're doing. And I always try to hit my farms as much as I can, because I am stockpiling milk. At some point, I am going to do a massive cook fest, but I am stockpiling milk. I have 86,000 milk, 85,977, so I pretty much have 86,000. And I'm also stockpiling beef, because I'm going to have to use that to create more pet feed. But I want to be able to use the wolf meat that I'm gathering to sell off. So that's why I have opted for haystacks in my farm, so I can get the milk and the meat. I also get the raw hides. Let me bring those up. This stuff, the ox hides, if you tan that or dry it or whatever you want to call it, it will turn into tough hides that you can use to craft here. That you can use to craft the Grunel stuff. You need fine tough hides, which you get by processing the tough hides, and you get tough hides by processing the ox hides, and you get that from haystacks. And you can get it from killing and tanning monsters with a tanning knife, but the easier way is to just farm it and let it stockpile over time. You don't need a huge amount unless you're just mass producing Grunel armor. But my idea was to feed the Grunel to build fail stacks, but then Pearl Abyss started giving away fail stacks like they're candy on Halloween, so there's no need for that anymore, and I just pretty much stopped production on that. Same with all of the mass cooking. I was doing mass cooking boxes, and I was going to need to do Balanos meals, but I've pretty much stopped that too, because now I'm grinding instead of life skilling as much, and so there's just no need for the farming. And since they've added let me bring storage back up one more time. Since they've added these leaves, they've reworked it to where the haystacks drop these blush leaves. The most money I get out of farming is by doing the haystacks, because even if I was to just sell this milk, it's 18,000 a thing. Or you could process it into cheese, but milk is maxed out at 19,700, and if you go to the cheese is still slowly climbing up. So, you know, it's just hugely profitable if you're into the processing game. I was mass producing milk because again making Balanos meals for the Imperial turn-ins, but that's not so important now that I'm pretty much past all of that and I'm grinding a lot. So it's really choose your poison on the BDO front. You can either grind, which is the most silver, or you can AFK or semi-AFK life skill if you don't have time to grind. I like to diversify and use a myriad of ways to get my silver. I've been wanting to up my gathering to Guru for a long time, but again, it's just like mob grinding. You just sit there, gather, except for the fact that you're locked by energy. And I have gained 515 energy, and like I have a huge energy pool, but again, you can only gather for so long unless you're buying energy potions off the market, and then you're dumping silver into that, which I have a huge amount of energy potions too I need to use up, but there isn't much profit in herb gathering, and that's the most efficient way to level your gathering is through herb gathering. I made a video on that too. But I just don't do that stuff as much anymore. And grinding has pretty much taken over because I want to get into the PvP aspect of things. But enough sidetracking. I really do want to tone down. I just want to tone down the BDO repetitive content, and I want to release original stuff, at least original stuff for the channel here, and see if I can make it more interesting instead of just saying, well, today I am Blood Wolves, yay. You know, nobody wants to watch that. I don't want to watch that. I wouldn't watch it. Candid Vengeancer, giving his real mind and opinion here. So I'm going to do better to like diversify stuff. That's why the BDO videos have kind of been trickle fed in. I'm trying to release them every few days instead of every single day so that it's just not the same thing over and over again. So I will do a bunch of grinding and throw some footage and stuff in, and just kind of update on what drops I get. If I get a new gear piece, I'll make a video on that. If I do an enhancing, I'll do an enhancing video. Otherwise, I'm going to try and sprinkle some nice short videos, maybe like I said, 5 minute here, 3 minute there, you know, just some things. And then I'm going to have a little bit of different content on the channel as well. I'm still doing the other projects. Now, Last Chaos is on the fence right now because that game is everything but just shutting down. The publisher / developer has now sold the rights off, and they are going to be moving to a new publisher / developer. So I don't even know what's going to happen with that game. I'm not even sure if it's still going to be around in 3 months. Supposedly they have a big happy outlook about the game. They're going to try and change a bunch of stuff. They'll probably run it, and then they'll probably run it into the ground and then close it so that the current company doesn't get blamed for it. That's probably what will happen. But it's a new studio, so we'll see what happens. And I'll make content on that as I can. Now, I am going to finish Red Dead Redemption 2. And that's probably the content you're going to get for the next few days, because I'm going to bulk record that. Because I have to be gone for Christmas. So I want to wish everybody a happy holiday, and I hope this message is well received. I know this was supposed to be like an 8-minute video, and it turned into 25 minutes, but hopefully you diehard watchers and listeners will put it on in the background and listen to the message, because that's really what it's about. And if hit the like so I know if you agree or if you watch this whole thing. and think that the different variety of stuff will be better than just throwing up content that was me grinding for an hour with all the parts cut out and just quick touches, 15 minutes here and there. But if I can take more time to make the videos, it's gonna make the content better. And and I don't really have any other way of interacting with you all except for if you like the video, then I'll know that yes, we agree, and they pretty much took the dislike away. I mean, I can still see if the video gets disliked, but it can't it doesn't show on the page, so you can't really use that as a good metric. I mean, you can leave a comment and let me know. That helps too. And then of course we've been growing. The sub count is steadily going up, and I really appreciate that, and I appreciate everyone that watches. But I want to leave off with, I hope you have, if you're in the US, have a very happy holiday and go see a bunch of family. And if you're not, then I hope you have a good time either way. But that's all I got for a message, and thank you for watching. And as always, until next time.